friends, I'm Midnight Siren, and today we're going to be doing another Five Nights at Freddy's theory, but instead of what I had originally planned, I'm going to be talking about the Bite of 87. In this video, I'm going to be exploring who I think caused it, as well as who I think was the victim, using in-game hints and animatronics' behavior and outward appearance. If you aren't familiar with the Bite of 87, just listen to this clip.
So just be aware, the characters do tend to wander a bit. They're left in some kind of free roaming mode at night. Something about their servos locking up if they get turned off for too long. They used to be allowed to walk around during the day too, but then there was the Bite of 87. Yeah. It's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe, you know?
Now, after Five Nights at Freddy's 1's release, the mass consensus was that Foxy was responsible for the Bite of 87. The main argument being that first, he had the sharpest teeth of all the animatronics, and also that his stage was out of order, though the reason why he was put away was never explained. Most figured the bite was why. Freddy was also a large contender in the race for who did it. Some say it was him for two reasons. First, if you look closely, just above Freddy's right eye is a handprint. It looks as if someone was trying to force him away during an attack. Had he bitten someone, the likely response would to place both hands on the upper part of the head and push away. Second, in the East Hall there is a note pasted on the wall. The clipping changes throughout the game. At one point, it will read the rules of the pizzeria. Rule number 6 reads, "Don't touch Freddy." It is unclear why there would be a rule specifically warning children to not touch him. Why not "Don't touch the animatronics"? Some believe that this rule directly references the bite incident. It seems that Freddy must have done something bad. However, there are other reasons why they may have posted this warning. For example, a child may have been responsible for some amount of major damage on Freddy that resulted in a large expense for the company. Either way, out of the two, I would say that Foxy's argument is more likely. However, when Five Nights 2 came out, the game was placed in the year of 1987, and it changed everyone's view on the incident. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy are decommissioned and stored in the parts and services room. That completely rules all four of them out. That leaves Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, and the Mangle as the only remaining options. I'm going to automatically rule out Toy Chica due to the fact that her beak has no teeth, and it alone would not be large enough to bite down on someone's head. If she removed her beak, accessing her endo teeth, it may be possible, but the idea of her doing so seems very unlikely. And even if she did, the endo teeth don't seem to have a powerful bite. One interesting observation I've made while doing research for my theory is that I've never actually truly seen any of the toy animatronics move their mouths. They are made of hard plastic and seem rather stationary in their expressions. When the original animatronics attack, they move their mouths in rapid biting motions. However, when their toy counterparts lunge at the player, their mouths make no movement at all. Though one would think that a couple of figures who are portrayed as a band would have the ability to look as if they are singing, there is not a single moment in the game when the toys move their mouths, nor do their mouths ever shift positions. Despite this, I do believe the movement is still possible. After all, Freddy is supposed to be a singer, and it would look awkward if his mouth didn't move. So let's analyze this picture of Toy Bonnie. It's easy to see that the upper part of the mouth is cemented to the rest of its head. This means that it can't move from there. If you look at the mouth, you can see a disconnect between the red part of the inside of his mouth and the rest of his face. His jaw seems to fit between this gap. I assume that behind the plastic there is a motor hooked to a rail on part of his endoskeleton which propels the lower jaw up and down. This greatly contrasts from the original animatronics, who, according to Bonnie and Freddy's kills, seem to move their mouths using a hinge and a motor. A hinge would greatly allow the wider and more drastic opening of the mouth, rather than a limited rail that would have stop points to assure the jaw doesn't open too wide. Because of this proof, I do not believe that neither Toy Bonnie nor Toy Freddy would have the range of their mouths to be able to fit a skull of any size inside. I also believe that this system of how the movement works would keep the movement at a lower velocity. Surely not at a high enough rate to pierce someone's frontal lobe, if they can move their mouths at all. And with all this, I'm going to say the only true culprit could be the mangle. There is more than just discrediting the toys, though. The cold, hard proof of its guilt comes in the form of its kill screen. Mangle lunges down from the ceiling with its mouth open wide, its double rows of sharp teeth aiming directly at the upper front of Jeremy's head, directly where his frontal lobe would have been located. The mangle is undoubtedly the animatronic behind the bite of 87. But who did it bite? At the end of night 6, Phone Guy tells Jeremy,
Hello. What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while. Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right. Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night. We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform. Stay close to the animatronics and make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay? For now, just make it through the night. When the place eventually opens again, I'll probably take the night shift myself. Okay, good night and good luck.
That means that the bite of 87 had to happen on that day, because it was the last day it was going to be open. Phone Guy directly instructs Jeremy to stay close to the animatronics. Before that, he says,
just as a side note, though, try to avoid eye contact with any of the animatronics side if you can. Someone may have tampered with their facial recognition systems. We're not sure. But the characters have been acting very unusual, almost aggressive toward the staff. They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare. Anyway, hang tight. It will all pass. Good night.
So it seems the animatronics were acting strange towards adults, and Jeremy would be standing extra close to him. This would be the perfect chance for one of them to strike out at him. However, it would be logical to say that Jeremy would be standing by the stage where the toys are located, since it seems logical that most of the children would be in there, leaving Kids Cove, where the younger children would be, playing with the mangle, vulnerable. At this point, the mangle, having been taken apart and put back together over and over again, might have developed a growing dislike for the children who were torturing it. It was at the last straw, and with no one there to supervise it, the mangle lashes out, biting the head and damaging the frontal lobe of a small child. So, the mangle, having been tortured over and over again by children, bit and destroyed the frontal lobe of the child, forcing Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria to shut down. The mangle, along with its toy co-workers, were destroyed as justice for the little girl's injury. Do you really think they would have let the animatronics survive for such a crime? They kept the old ones in hopes of starting another restaurant, but the incident would haunt the company forever. And there you have it, my interpretation of what happened during the bite of 87. I'm certainly going to keep up with these Five Nights at Freddy's videos, and next time we are really going to be discussing the driving force behind the animatronics. So, I'm Midnight Siren, and I will see you next time.